When I wrote up these questions last night, I spilled tea all over them, so I think we're off to a really good start. Hey guys, it's Kathleen, and today I'm going to be filming a bit of a different video. I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag, only because I was posting videos and I'm kind of realizing that there's really no introduction to who I am or what I intend to do with this channel, and I'm kind of just throwing you guys in there, so I wanted to film something that would just give you an idea of what I want to do and who I am. And this is all just wrapped up in one convenient little tag. Question 1 is, why did you start this channel? And I think the answer for that is pretty obvious, that I want to be able to talk about books, but at the same time, I want to talk about books on more than just like the surface level of talking about books. I want to be able to express how I feel about books in a creative way, and I want to be able to really actively participate in discussions about books beyond like, oh, I really enjoyed that book. And I really want to be able to participate in active discussion and discourse around books that I like or ones that I don't like, because I love that on Booktube there is that deeper community, there is that opportunity to do that, so I am really looking forward to being a part of that. Also, I really, in general, have always wanted to be better at things like video editing and filming in general, so I figured that if I want to learn that stuff anyway, then doing it while getting to do something I really enjoy and talking about something I love is a good opportunity. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 thing. I just spilled more tea. This is not going well. Question 2 is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? I don't know that they'll necessarily be fun or that they're even going to be that unique, but I am Canadian and I'm hoping to include a lot of stuff on Canadian authors and sharing Canadian books and content. So that would be fun. In the upcoming weeks, I want to do a review of the entire Anne series, which has been rebranded Anne with an E for Netflix, which I think is so strange. I really just want to talk about that because I have very strong feelings about it. Anne of Green Gables is my favorite book, so I think that might be something a little bit different. And I'm also a journalism major, and I know that that's not particularly unique really, but I think that maybe I can bring a little bit of information from my field and talk about that in my videos and things like that as well. Question 3 is, what are you most excited for this new channel? And I kind of already answered this in the first question, but I think just getting the opportunity to really participate in these discussions, and as well just to meet people who are also interested in these things. I think that's going to be really fun. I work in a bookstore, so I'm fortunate that I have friends from that who also really love books, but you don't always necessarily have the same people who like the same books that you do, or the exact same book at a time, and you really want to participate in discussion around that, but you can't always do that. And I love that Booktube gives you that opportunity. So I'm definitely excited for just the interaction with people and to learn new things. I'm really excited to learn things, guys. I love hearing different people's thoughts on things, and that really turns me into more of a well-rounded reader, I think. Question 4 is, why do you love reading? I think the simplest answer is there's the escapism element, of course, but I think there's also just an emotional connection I make with literature that I feel like I don't make with every other form of media. I mean, I can read a book and I'll be focusing on it for weeks afterwards. I'll be still thinking about it and completely in love with it. And I feel like when I see a movie, I don't usually feel that way. When I watch a TV show, I rarely feel that way, but it's so easy for a book to get me invested in things. I also feel like books can reach so many people, and I think that's so cool, and it's just a universal language. You know how in Mean Girls when Caddy likes math because it's the same in every language? I think that's what she says. I feel like books may be different in every language, but we're all sort of speaking the same language when we're reading, and that's what I love about it. I also love learning about new ideas and perspectives that I wouldn't necessarily get to see in the real world, and I think that a lot of writers are pretty avant-garde about that. I think they're more progressive and more on the cutting edge about presenting new ideas and putting out new content than necessarily other forms of media. So I think that's really cool, and I think that's something that we should all be learning about, and I love doing. So that's another reason that I love to read. Question 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? And this is kind of debatable for me. I remember I read the Mary Kay and Ashley mysteries when I was in grade 1, and I loved those. I thought they were so good. I thought they were fantastic. I would read them all the time with my parents. Loved them. But then I read A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket after grade 2, I think, and that sort of was the first series that I can consciously remember thinking about all the time and really wanting to be in that world. I don't know why I wanted to be in that world, but I did. And then Harry Potter. I'm just gonna say it. Harry Potter really made me love literature. It's what made me want to be a writer. J.K. Rowling in general and her story and the whole world was just something that inspired me so much that I thought that's what I want to do for a living. That's who I want to be someday. Fair is fair. We're gonna say Harry Potter. I keep spilling tea, guys. This is not going well. Question 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? So I really want to know how other booktubers deal with feeling like you have to read and feeling like it's an obligation, because I find when I'm reading for obligation, I have way less fun reading. I don't like it as much, and that sucks, and I hate that. So I really want to know how they deal with that. And especially if you're in a reading slump, how do you deal with the fact that you're supposed to be making content about books all the time, but you don't want to read right now? How do you keep your audience engaged and best engaged with them? That's what I'm curious about, I think. Question 7 is, what challenges in starting a booktube channel do you think are going to be hardest to overcome? For me, there's going to be some technical issues. I'm clearly shooting on an iPhone. This is not a super advanced setup by any means, and I'm using like natural lighting and a lamp in my room. This is not particularly unique or exciting or visually stimulating by any means whatsoever. So I think lighting is a thing that's going to be a challenge, as well as sound. It's really hard to incorporate good sound in your videos when you don't have a proper microphone. It's also really hard if you want to include music or anything, because I find even at the lowest volume, the music just drowns it out. Also, I think just getting yourself out there and making your channel known is just difficult for everybody, and that's going to be a challenge. Hopefully I will someday overcome it. We're gonna see. Question 8 is, when did you start reading? This is pretty boring. I started reading when I was in grade 1. It was mandatory. First semester grade 1. We had to learn to read. I was 6 years old. Before that, I kind of read with my parents a bit, so I did do that, but I wasn't like obsessed with it. I wasn't in love with reading when I was like 5. But I remember I actually sucked at reading in grade 1. In the very first semester, I got a C in reading class. And I did pull myself up afterwards, but I have very distinct memories of being unable to pronounce the word "the." I just could not do it, no matter how hard I tried. I just would look at it and it wouldn't look like "the" to me. It looked weird. I couldn't read it. Question 9 is, where do you read? This varies so much for me, honestly. I cannot read on my couch because I fall asleep for some reason, or I feel like I want to fall asleep. Maybe if I'm reading a really exciting book that wouldn't happen, but couch is a no-no. I find that I read really well in my bed. I read really, really well on the bus. I can read around other people often. I just need to be plugged in and not have them talk to me. So that's why the bus is great. I can read with music on too, so I can put headphones in and just be listening to something and be reading for like half an hour. It's great. I get so much reading done on my commutes to school. Oh, there's also this spot in my backyard where we have this place that was once a play structure we had when we were kids. And it's still up there, but the swings are done and stuff, so there's basically just this thing you climb up to. It's just this wooden plank area, and that's my favorite place to read. In the summer, I love, love, love to read there. It's so great. It's beautiful. We have giant trees above, and it just makes me feel very one with nature and very relaxed, and I will finish a whole book when I'm just sitting there. So I really, really love doing that. So then the final question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And I would definitely say contemporary. YA contemporary is like my thing. However, I also read a lot of adult contemporary and classics that are contemporary of their genre. I think 4 out of my 5 favorite books kind of fall into that category. I read YA fantasy as well. I recently bought my first ever adult fantasy novel, A Darker Shade of Magic, so I'm curious to see if I'm gonna actually like that. I need to reach out more. I need to branch out and get into other genres, honestly. But yes, contemporary is definitely my main thing. You will probably see a lot of that on this channel just because it's so quick, it's so easy, and I find I connect with it really easily. So that is the end of my Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope that you slightly enjoyed this video. If you did, you can like it, and feel free to subscribe if you would like as well. I'm hoping that you guys feel like you get to know me a little bit more. You know that I spill tea on myself, so I really think we're a bit closer now. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!